And now please welcome to the stage Claire Rozain from Rzain. She's going to be talking about ad monetization tips and tricks. Yeah! Get your tips and tricks.
So hello everyone, really happy to be here today to speak about admon tips and tricks. I think we had a really good talk with Felix, so I hope you won't be disappointed. So today I'm going to speak about the admon tips and tricks and share a few examples of the gaming developer basically and what they have been doing lately on the admon side, and also some key takeaways that mobile developers they can actually have into their strategy to scale their revenue. So let's start with the introduction. So why today we are actually speaking about monetizing ads. You know, I'm an ex-Rovio, so basically even doing ads was a topic in the company I was in, but reality is the ads share of revenue has been increasing year on year, and it's only getting bigger with overall audio ads and all what is going on. Simulation and casual games have been the one with puzzle that actually saw the highest growth in ad monetization, and it keeps growing. So my name is Claire. I'm the CEO of Rozain Consulting and AE Framework. We have an AE monetization tool, and I basically spent around 30 million in user acquisition, working at Product Madness, Gameloft, Rovio, and nowadays working with apps and games. And I achieved $1 million admon revenue those past years. So the first thing is to understand the value of ads versus EAP, because there is no doubt your EAP is still higher than your ads, but your ads has been growing massively as a complementary revenue for game publisher to basically scale. If you have a look at this outlier report that is actually dated from this year, you can see that the LTV of course, in-app purchases keeps increasing, but if it keeps increasing, we are going to see it's also because remove ads and other ads are also empowering this kind of revenue. And another really interesting thing that is shared by Unity in the last report is the value of in-app purchases actually that is stagnant, where actually the value of ads is increasing. So we saw in 2023, ads had a 26% ARPDAU uplift, which is something that can at some point unlock your scale, especially when you run some user acquisition. So now let's speak about the topic UA tips and tricks and how basically you can resonate with it. So first thing, what you can do is to provide context-sensitive ads, and the essential things if you are onboarding with ads is to understand where you should add your ad. Having an interstitial on the first session, for instance, may not be the best thing. But according to Unity report, again, having, you know, like for instance, an ad when you run out of resources between levels, for instance, are placements that are increasing the engagement and increasing as well your ARPDAU. Your ARPDAU is a function of how the user is going to engage with your placement. So better you are going to choose those things and also test those things, better you are going to scale your revenue. Another thing is how you are using common retention tactic with ads to increase also your scale. Daily reward and daily task have been used forever for customer relationship management. Nowadays, it's even used by Tapjoy on incentivized network and things like this. Nowadays, what developers are doing, and here it's, for instance, Lions Studio and OMA example, they are adding actually the rewarded video placement directly on the daily task. So they use really common non-retention tactic to increase actually their ad revenue without cannibalizing their in-app purchases. Another things and trends that has been rising a lot in gaming, and especially on monetization, has been all the gacha and additional move. Here you have an example of a really popular game, which is actually OPA, where at each level you will have the choice, if you are out of move, to basically watch an ad in order to continue in your progression. This is something we were using a lot when I was at Rovio, where we used this. We saw in our data that actually our VIP player used to be the one using the most this placement. So I think having your rewarding video placement as a place where actually is not cannibalizing in-app purchases and just being seamless and frictionless always is a win for all the publishers. We've been just speaking about it, but the no ads as a subscription and VIP premium offer has been nailing it. I work with half of my clients are gaming alpha apps. Subscription is nailing it. Gaming is kind of missing out on this, but the biggest publisher, for instance here, Exasort, understood it with the Battle Pass, for instance, but also the remove ads, where they have time-based subscription, where you can, for instance, remove your ad for 30 days, lifetime, or even other subscription that you can do. Something else that has been done with Abby Games, for instance, that is really smart, is to add additional feature when actually you have those remove ads subscription package. And the one that has been the most interesting for me lately has been adding offline play. Offline play, we know, is something that users are getting more and more used and are using the most. And this is actually what Abby Game has been scaling. And instead of having users anywhere that are logging off because they don't want to watch your ads, selling it in the bundle is basically what helps them to scale it without hurting their revenue. So now the hot topic, overall. So for a long time, overall has been a real discussion point. Why would you pay users to go out of your app? But this has been, I think, implemented by one of the first and biggest puzzle game ever merged, and show actually that it helps users to kind of get a loyalty program in your ads, and once they achieve the completion rate of their events in the other app, just come back into your app, and this has been nailing it, especially in strategy games that scale the most. Because think about it, if you are stuck at a level and you don't want to pay again, what would you do? You would use the overall, and this has been proven to have the highest LTV, even higher than rewarded video and ads. So this is what has been really booming out on monetization. Of course, like we can't do an advanced tips and tricks presentation without speaking about RTB. I took this quote actually from Moloko that we saw was implementing massively this year on several gaming publishers. But nowadays, more than 80% of all the revenue of ad monetization is RTB based. So who you have in your mix and what you are doing with it really matters and is really going to also bring the value out of your waterfall. So yeah, I'm just also highlighting that ad monetization stays a function on offer and demand. I think all the ad mod manager here saw end of the year eCPM massively growing because of e-commerce, because of all the brand campaigns, but also because there is an incredible things to do at the end of the day, especially with the floor A/B test. We have less control on all what is manual waterfall, but you still have the control country level to kind of manage those uplift in seasonality, and also think who is going to be into your mix. So this is a text test I did with clients end of the year, and only by changing the waterfall floor, we increased by 88% the ARPDAU. Another thing you can do is to boost your engagement on placement to increase your average revenue per user. So this was a test where we just changed one placement to the other on the ad, and we increased the ARPDAU by 136%. Why? Because initially it was really disruptive. It wasn't at the place where users they will actually enjoy it, and we even had some churn. But just changing it and having rewarded ads in a placement that people will actually have a good viewability and will be keen actually to watch it until the end, increase the revenue. Something else that is really too easy to do and is not done enough, unfortunately, on my clients, is splitting LAT on and off waterfall, which is something you know that people are not always thinking about, especially when you have iOS on your mix. But this is still proven to be successful. This is an example actually of an app, so AI apps, which is one of my American clients. We did it like 2 weeks ago, and we had actually a 20% ARPDAU uplift the first week. Another example is to always think about your portfolio value when you do ads. You always need to understand that ads is a trade-off of basically, do you want to show an ad from an external portfolio, or do you want to show something from your own portfolio? So in order to do this, usually like there is a formula that you can use, which is the lifetime revenue times your predicted CVR and your revenue share times 1,000. And depending on this, you should or should not don't show on ads. Ads are not perfect and are not what you should add the most. It's not by increasing the frequency that you are going to do more revenue. So you need to take this into consideration. And this is actually a graph on the revenue and track profit that has been done by Goncalo at Boombit in the podcast 2.5 Gamer, where you see that cross-promo are impacted by 18% the revenue of this game. So when we are speaking about distribution, your game are maybe the best distribution tool to actually upsell your player. So another thing that I think nobody can't work actually without is really AI in monetization. Nowadays, if you are not following your bid floor eCPM trends with AI, it's really complicated. So I personally started to work with Holo, which is a solution from AppsFlyer, and I wasn't really satisfied. So I started a tool in order to kind of predict the eCPM trends based on the market data. So if you are interested, I'm also doing an AI community, and you're welcome to join. I will share the framework in the channel. But it's really important when you think about ad monetization to think about the seasonality, because 1 month won't be the same as the other, because there is some new people, there is also some brand campaign, a real seasonality depending on the country, and so on. So now let's go into it and just see a few examples. I think it's sometimes even better than data. So here you have an ad from Voodoo that is called Epic Plane. Here, basically what you need to do is kind of a clicker mechanic where you have rewarded ads that are embedded into it. So you can click up to a certain point and use soft currency, and then at each one you need to watch a rewarded video in order to upsell basically and get the next item. So this is really smart because this is really high engagement placement. Another one is from Wood Turning that also is a customization feature where you can select all the colors. And of course the best colors, at least the one I prefer, are the one where you need to watch rewarded videos. So you are free as a user and you are also proactive in your choice. If you want actually to have a better product, you need to watch a video. Another one is about Tap Nation. So Tap Nation is really strong on all what is customization. And into this game, it's kind of the same thing. Like you have items, and depending on the items, you need not even to watch 1 rewarded video, but 5 rewarded video in order to have it. So only your high engaged users are going actually to go through this funnel to have all the items. This is really rare items, and you need, I think, to be really motivated. But at the end of the day, you have 1 user that watched 5 rewarded videos, which is just massive. Actually, knowing rewarded video is one of the best eCPM. Another strategic ad placement is the lobby. So more and more people have been using it to have embedded rewarded placement. So here, for instance, you are on the home page and you can directly click to make it better and look better, nicer for people that are actually playing. Of course, here it's not that disruptive. It's not user playing the thing. It's only if they want to enhance the game environment, which is also working quite well. So the key takeaway, so everyone can go at the parties and everything. So first, optimize ad format is really key. And monetization is more and more product-based and less hands-on waterfall optimization. So you need to be nailing the knowledge that you have around your product. And even being a product manager is even better when you do ads. Strategic ad placement are really important. It shouldn't pose or disrupt basically the user experience. It's really old school doing this. Nowadays, ads-based game I've been working on have the best retention I ever saw. So you should also take this into consideration. Retention is always going to be a better price than churn rate. Having data-driven offer and personalization, you need to understand real-time what is the LTV of the user, and based on this, adapt the ad frequency. More you are able to have AI tools that are able to customize the user journey the same way Netflix is doing, for instance, with recommendation and pricing, the better it's going to be. Frequency capping is really important. We see ad quality also declining, so I think, of course, I didn't add this, but blacklisting competitor has been something that on my side has been working quite well. And A/B testing, user segmentation, and AI have been really key success. So thank you for coming. I'm Claire, the founder of Rozain Consulting, and if you want to join my community, don't hesitate. Thanks.